Well, we are going to cover three objectives today. First, we are going to be talking about the fruit industry, how it looks like in the global, in the national, and in Missouri context. Also, we will be talking about the understanding and how you can complain for regulation to sell products to the public. We also will tell a little bit about markets and how to market your fruit or your orchard products. Because it's activated. And the outline for this presentation is as follows. First, we are going to make an overview of the fruit industry. Then we have three areas to cover today. Then we are going to analyze the selling of fruits in Missouri and regulation for selling those fruits. Also, at the end, we are going to talk about the market outlets and marketing strategies. We are going to spend around less than 30 minutes in each one of these. So we will try to be on time for the presentation. First, let's start with overview of the industry in Missouri. This graph represents the main orchard producers here in Missouri. It compared three different census, from census 2012 to census 2022, the recent one. As you can see, peaches, the first column, if you add all the numbers from each census, will give you the total bar, but each color represent is one of the years. As you can see, in 2022, we observed an increase on peach production. You can see it here, 2022, and it went up to 1,218 acres planted. We're talking about acres planted. Then next we have apples. Apple will represent the second main crop or main orchard in Missouri. We observe also after a decline on the census from 2017, we observe an increase of 1,403 acres. Another important fruit product from Missouri is blackberries. Blackberries is not as big as apples, but also is significant for the state of Missouri. The more important fruit in Missouri is grapes. Grapes represent almost 2,000 acres in 2022 census, and it keeps growing. It's come from below, or from the back in 2012 to, it's a little bit of increase, but it's growing. That industry is growing. Then we have pears, also not very significant, but still one of the more important, and plums. Plums, even though it's very popular, but it's not very big, the number of acres, or there are not many acres planted with plums. Pretty much, we can think that most of these crops, pears, plums, blackberries, are hobby farmers who grow those crops. And now you have a good idea about what's going on in Missouri. So we are going to the big map now. We are going to the global map. So in the global context, we have the production for, we select only 4 main countries or regions. We try to compare those crops we had in Missouri. So in Missouri, we got these crops, pears, grapes, and apples. Grapes and apples are the main ones. So we don't have the report for peaches in this one, but we had pears. So as you can see, China is a potential in fruit tree production. If you compare production of China, this is in 1,000 metric tons. So this means 44,500 tons, 44 million. Tons are kind of a lot of tons here. 44,500,000.
There's a question in the chat.
This
You
is,
see that? White or table grapes?
that is how
Wine.
table grapes. We are talking about table grapes. This data is for table grapes. We can see China. China represents, as you can see, the world production in the global context almost a little bit more than half in global supply of the main trees we have in Missouri. Talking specifically in this one about apples. And also they are a potential on pears. Also they are strong in grapes. The USA, United States of America, is right here. And we only have 4,300,000 tons of apples compared to the 44 millions of China and to the 82 millions of the global production. So we are very low in the other two crops we are comparing here. But other very strong powers on fruit production are the European Union, that is second in the globe. And then we have, is it back? That's fine. Then we have Turkey, who is very strong too. Turkey is even produce more apples than the USA, and more grapes too. So with this graph, you can have a very good idea about where we are at in the production of fruits, specifically for the Missouri main crops. We are going to go over each one of these crops, apples, pears, and grapes. And we will see how they show comparing different industry variables. We have three variables to analyze here. One is apple production, consumption industry, the consumption of the apple production, and exports. Obviously, most of these countries we are analyzing, China, European Union, United States, and Turkey, they don't import because they have enough food to supply their own demand. But they export, they have some excellence to send to foreign markets. It can be a case they may import specific products, they don't have those specific varieties. But that is why we only have these three variables here. And as you can see, these bars represent all the offer or the production in this case. Well, production is our offer for the four countries. And you can see the difference how China occupy most of the blue bar here, followed by the European Union, and then USA, and then Turkey. As we saw in the previous graph that Turkey is a little bit bigger than, well, wasn't that bigger than USA. Then we have also another variable here you can analyze consumption. Most of the production is consumed by the same countries, and there is an excellence for exportation. It's very low, you can see here. That indicator tells you very important information, because as you can see, most of these economies should have very strong regulation to protect the local production. We are talking here about food security. We are talking here about other variables that are not necessarily displayed here, but this indicator can tell you everything. And that is one of the reasons these countries are potential in this. Next variable will compare the same apple variables, production, consumption, and exports, but with the global supply. In this case, we have the purple color represent the total production of apple. for all the other countries around the globe. This data come from the Foreign Agricultural Service from the USDA. And then we analyze grape fresh for table. In this case, China keep leading the industry. The European Union is second, and the United States chose like four. Turkey is in grape is the third country or main producer. We compare that with the global data. You can see how China look compared to all other countries. This data of export represent how much other countries export their products to other regions. Now let's talk about beer. Beer fresh, the same behavior we can see here. China leading the industry, and then Europe Union and USA and Turkey. We can see Turkey is significantly bigger than the USA. But yeah, it's the same behavior than the other two crops. That is how it looks in the global context. That is how, when you add the global supply of beer, you can see China almost supplying half of the beers around the world, but the producer not supplying because they consume most of these products. Right here is the consumption. It's almost half, very much you can compare. And this data you can see is very, very recent from 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. And this is a projection to December 2024. That is kind of the trend for this industry. Then, for some reason, went off the slide, but this graph will compare Missouri with the main state producers in the United States. And the United States, we are very significant around the world in production, but here in the United States, California is making the paper of China in the global context. California is the main producer over the years for most of the crops. You can see here, let's see, Florida. We had Florida second, Washington, Georgia, Texas, and Missouri is over here. We select only some of them to compare. Missouri is ranked number 16, and this is the number of acres allocated to orchard. Like in 2012, were 18,769, and this went down actually. 2022, we got, it's 15 or 16,000, 16,145. So we will see this trend in another graph in the next slide. So going to the national orchard acre trend, let's wait for this. We can see the trends for the national, like is growing. Every time we had more farmers entering the fruit production industry, orchard production, and the number of acres planted in 2022, according to the census, was 6,203,095 acres. Too close. And now let's see how Missouri look like here. So Missouri orchard in 2012, we had more acres planted, but then went down to 2017, and now it's coming back. Right now, the last report from USDA is 16,145 acres planted. And that is in the context of total acreage. But now we are going to analyze by crops. We saw at the beginning this graph showing you the main orchard in Missouri, the main fruit products. We had grapes at the main one, we had apples at the second, and peaches at the third. Then we had also blackberries, we have pears and plums. So that is how the trends look like up from 3 census of agriculture. Let's see how it look like the national total grape acres for the country. In the country, we are going down in production. We are going down in number of acres. From 2012, we dropped to some maybe 30,000 something acres in acres planted to 2022. So this trend started with the last census, like 3,000 acres less, and then dropped significantly to 2022. That is kind of a concern. Why it's happening? Climate change involved here, or what's going on? Are we thinking about this? Now let's see Missouri grape acres. So in Missouri, it's different trend. For some reason, but in this case for grape, in the general one we were down, but grape has been is a industry has been growing consequently for many years. Well, not many years. In the last census agriculture, we can see 5 years from the last census to the last from census 2017 to the last census 2022. This has a significant growth, not very significant, but some 100 acres. So no, that is a much more consistent. Remember that is data that is accumulated and is ponderated. So to this point, it becomes more consistent. Then we will have another crop. We are analyzing of 3 crops. What about apples? Apples in the national context also observe an increase from different than the grape from 2017 to 2022. That is a very significant growth. We're talking here about 30,000 acres more from census to census. And in Missouri, that was reversed. We had different behavior on apple plantation of apple acres planted. We saw at the beginning it was high in 2012, went down on 2017, but also started coming back now in 2022. So the trend should be a little bit for next census. Now we have the last crop is pears. On pears, we also observe a decline on the census. The acres planted reduced around more than 4,000 acres from census 2017 to 2022. In Missouri, we saw something different. We saw an increase, but as you can see, it's not a lot of acres. But that is the data we had from the official data from the United States Census of Agriculture. Looking at you guys. This way. It doesn't go too far away. So that's it, right? Very good. Very good. Now we are going to jump about time to the other topic about selling fruit in Missouri. What you need to do to sell fruit in Missouri. You saw how the industry look like. You see how many acres we have. If you can go around driving around Missouri, you don't see a lot of plantation, right? You see a lot of grass, livestock. You are in the center of Missouri, in this area, Mexico, Missouri, all these east central Missouri, you see a lot of crops, like commodity crops, corn, soybean, and a lot of crops, but you don't see a lot of orchards. You see some orchards here, one in Marshall, the other side is a big one, Peters. I don't know if you know about that one, but you can easily navigate in the Google map to see how many orchards we have in Missouri. So let's talk about how you can sell that. Let's assume that everybody here has an orchard production, and also the people who are connecting there on the internet. If you don't have it, if you have it, congratulations. If you don't have it, just imagine you have one. So how are you going to do to sell your product? How you can sell it? It's not like, oh, I had my apples, so let's start selling it. So there is a way to sell, and we are in a legal frame of regulation that allow the consumers to feel secure and safe that what they eat is healthy for them. So 1998, around that time, there was many concerns about the lack of a regulation to implement those kind of or get compliance with human health. So the Food Drug Administration started creating the regulation with the USDA called the Food Safety Regulation. So we are going to talk a little bit about that. And so the agricultural marketing service, everybody know what is that? Raise your hand who doesn't know. Everybody knows. Very good. Provide this is an agency from the USDA and provide independent third-party inspection and audit services. Also, it's a non-regulatory agency in regard to food safety. The Food Drug Administration regulates fruit and other products. So USDA regulate other products like meat, like other products, no fruit, vegetables. So we are regulated by Food Drug Administration. In the agricultural marketing service, there is another division, it's called specialty crop inspection. That specialty crop inspection provides grading, inspection, certification, auditing, quality or assurance services for fresh and processed fruits, also vegetables and related products. Also, this division develop and maintain the USDA or the United States grade standards, official inspection instruction, inspection aids, and color guides for these products. All of these you will see when you try to market this product. It's very important to understand why this is mentioned here. Because when you get ready to connect with the farmer, with the consumers, you have to display what's going on with this in your farm. So let's keep going here. Also develop and maintain commercial iron description for all commodities. That is what does the division SCAI. Well, what else is implied to sell fruits in Missouri? Well, in Missouri, many organizations are involved, but we have the Department of Health and Senior Services, who is the main responsible for food safety for the public. He is responsible to this. This is happening, the food is safe to consume and people can buy it without having any worries about E. coli. What kind of problems can have the food? What can have the food? Why people need inspection?
Because sometimes it's not safe, because sometimes they have disease problem, or they are spraying with something because some even fertilizer. You have to be careful about that. But I don't know, is the people I see now in farmer market, do they go past my inspection? I don't think so.
We can talk about that. Yeah, they should have this on the standards to grow food. That's what we are going to do next. That's why I asked, about that. So, what factors to consider when planning to sell to final consumer? Well, you are going to first information. You need to connect with the right institutions that will facilitate the strategic marketing for your products. Meet the market standards, like if you go to sell to the farmer market, this is the Columbia farmer market. there are standards for selling there. Market prices, you have to align with market prices in those places and set your prices so you become profitable. Consumer trends, get information about what the consumer want, what are their preferences, how much money they will pay more for a specific product. So if you grow conventional, or you grow organic, or you grow naturally, what people like more. You also need information about farming and marketing resources, inspection and auditing services. That's very important. So before this, we will jump to your question here. So how can I stay in compliance about selling to final consumers? That will respond to your question. Well, the agricultural marketing services, the specialty crop inspection division, they regulate the selling of products. Like there is a standard for production, it's called good agricultural practices. Another one is good handling practices. So they have a specific guidelines for you to follow as a farmer and compliant with those standards. So in this context, there is a rule, the food safety, but there is a food safety rule that you will see more ahead. Like you will need a production plan and a food safety recommendation if selling to consumers. So you have a production plan, or you want to donate your products too, then you need to have this food safety recommendation. So the food safety plan, there's a link here. You will receive the PDF. You register for this and attend. So you can click this one. I don't think we have time to do it at this point, but in this one, you will see all the sources of contamination for your food. Some of them are included here, like human contamination, animal contamination, equipment that you don't clean in your farm, water and soil. You may have water, there are different levels of contamination in water. The more safety water is the one that comes from, if you are a small garden or a small farmer, you need to have that check by testing it. But coming from lagoons is more dirty than coming from the well, and it's the cleaner one is the one coming from the government or through the public service, but most farmers don't use that one, they use wells. So soil is another soil is another source of contamination if you don't have a soil test for what soil you use for your crops. All of them come with microorganisms, bacteria, virus, parasites. All of them are connected to those old ones. In Missouri, the State Department of Agriculture, this is the link here. You can connect with this, and they will have a lot of information about how you can comply with Missouri Department of Agriculture to sell your crops, your food. Local care ordinances, you need to consider regulations are the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. Remember, those guys are the ones that are dictating the rules for Missouri. Hard to see the one in the border, but well, you need to follow guidelines for food production. That's what it meant, very much what to say. But continuing with how you can stay in compliance about selling final consumer. So you already know you have to make good agricultural practices and good handling practices. So how that works? Let me tell you a little bit of history here, so you understand. USDA, they require food safety for a small and large tree operation. The good agricultural practice and good handling practice, you can find this link, and you will find the auditing and how you can connect to require an auditing. You need one. Obviously, nobody wants that, but some people do. You can be tested for all this. But when you do that, obviously you show to the consumer, hey, look, that is very good because you will be able to be trusted by your consumer. You can require this inspection directly. This is very recommend. If you know you are doing very good in your production, you don't have nothing to hide. That is the best thing to do. If you think you are not doing the right thing, and you still want to sell your product because you need, that is something hard, isn't it? But you have to sell your product because you don't have a full, like significant, completely significant information that tell you that your products are not contaminated. Because you may say, okay, I never had done any water testing or my soil, I never had tests for heavy metal stuff. So just watch out for that, but you should require that. There is something called product safety rule. The product safety rules, let me tell you something, the Food Drug Administration here, they enforce the Food Safety Modernization Act. And the Food Safety Modernization Act is who created the product safety rule. That is something that farmers should be aware of this. So this applies to everyone who produce, process, pack, or sell fresh produce. Also apply to the product safety rule established and focuses on science-based minimum standard for safe production and the harvesting of products for human consumption. What is very important here? Science-based minimum standard. What I mean, we do it because we know there are many ways to grow food, and we sometimes produce our own inputs, our own compost, our own way to fertilize our crops. But they, according to this, they want something that is based on scientific knowledge, and it's passed through a peer review process that was considered science creation. So, how do you interpret that, Dr. Woolman?
You know, because I know some farmers for fruit trees, some farmers, they are suffering from problems of the soil and how to try to consume a lot of microorganisms in the soil. Sometimes even heavy metals. So you have to check for good fruits, they are free, disease-free, pest-free, heavy-free, you have to, otherwise you're gonna mess up. So when you do this and ask the people from USDA to come to your farm and see what's the point, and they will. They give you a certificate that you are doing the right way, you are safe. And you don't have anybody to criticize you, but you have to follow the scientific way, not just randomly. You have to follow the scientific. Is it clear?
We had a lot of agroecology is a science.
Yeah.
How people are or do farm amendment to agroecology principles, not necessarily science.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
but you have to do your basic things for your farm. Basic.
Yeah, that's why they.
You don't do it in the wrong place. So that's why when I say if you're gonna buy land for farming, you ask about it before you buy it. It might not fit for what you are gonna do. And then you got stuck in it. You know, you're gonna face hard time to sell it. So you check in the beginning.
Also, you can make a process of regeneration soil. So that is more money invested, but if you get very cheap, but it's not so contaminated, I think that will be
You have to
use hemp for fiber.
Yeah, but you have to know the history of your farm.
I had that.
You have to know the history.
Okay, let's keep going because time is ticking. Then who is exempt for this? Now, going back to your question. So let's do this thing. Like, who can exempt an inspection? Like, if you are a grower, but you are not that big.
Yeah.
You feel, no, I don't need an inspection. Or I'm too small. I can sell my surplus to a farmer market, and I sell it as a natural. They sell my product, so I just sell it. So that's very important because all of those, sorry, who exempt for the inspection are people who produce rare commodities that you don't consume. Like some people like to grow crops and they don't eat, they just do for hobby, some kind of exotic crops. And those are those crops that you use for your own consumption. If you produce for your own consumption, you are not subject to be inspected. So don't worry about it. And also it's covered there, and you put the bar in the bottom. And but it's there. If you produce, if you sell less than $25,000 gross, then you still can comply. You don't have to have an inspection. So that has to be in average in the last 3 years. So most of farmers, going back to your point, a lot of farmers who sell in the local farmer market here at Lincoln, they don't sell more than 20, maybe they sell more than 25,000. If they sell more than 25,000 a year, they need to be following the product safety law, having good agricultural practices and having good handling practices. Very good. Let's go with the now everything is kind of clear about that. Let's move the bar. What is the title over there? Yeah, market outlet. Let's jump to another topic here, and the last one will be selling the. Now, without how is the food production in the global context and national context in the Missouri, how we look like on acres production. Now we also saw the regulation for selling, what we need to do to be able to sell to the consumer, food safety rules, complaining with the good agricultural practice and good handling practices, that summarize everything. I was thinking about this thing should be at the beginning of the workshop or at the end, but apply to all the time, right? Yeah. But can be also at the beginning of the trade. Well, now that you have your products, you're complying with everything, you want to make money, you already spend a lot of money, you have your orchard, and you are tired of losing your crops or maybe not having enough resources. Well, there are ways to sell your products. We are going to talk about 2 ways to do it. This indication of these suggestions are specifically for those who have not a lot of products. So you have like 5 apple trees and maybe 5 pears trees. So if you don't have a lot of products, you can sell it to your neighbors. Driveway. You can open your driveway and have a stand there. How often? Mailboxes, mailbox sales. You can do conventional online, conventional platform. Like, have you ever sell something? I don't think you can sell animals on Facebook Marketplace, but I think you can sell something, right? So you need to look for those. Roadside stands, that is very popular. Normally, when people have or surplus or whatever they produce, they put on the side of the road with boxes. And also in parking lots. I know some Latino farmers who go to parking lots to sell whatever they produce. Direct from orchard. I mean, people come to your place and they buy it from you.
Make their own, yes.
Yeah. Now let's think about different. What about you are a producer who has supply all the time, who always has products, who has a bigger operation, and you are able to consistently offer a product differently for a long period of time. So in this case, you can connect with local farmer markets. Why? Because farmer markets happen normally here in Missouri from April to September, October. And if you have a consistent supply for those, for that time, you will be able to offer the farmer market. Because you will be creating a name by yourself. If you can one time and then you don't come next, break the truth on your product. So also you can offer in restaurants. Restaurants are very big, very important consumers for consistent suppliers. Local groceries, they always look for somebody who is consistent in providing what the consumers want. Community support agriculture or CSA systems. Everybody, most of people are getting more familiarized with this concept, especially after the pandemic. For the pandemic, the concept existed, but was a little bit like disappearing. And then suddenly, because the pandemic, most people start connecting back to this. Community support agriculture means like you connect with a group of people in your community surrounding your farm, and those people will be supporting your farm by buying from you a weekly basket of products, the one you produce. That some people call it a share. They pay a money ahead for that share. It's going to all the production season. You need to have a minimum of shares to be profitable. You will work very hard, but you will not pay enough money. So before you start this CSA, just consider how many you need, the minimum you need to become profitable and worth your time and pay to this. So people want at least 100 shares, that means 100 customers. And then we have online outlets platform. Oops. This in the right side in this screen, you can see Grace card. You can go to that. We had this link here, so you just click in the link. The thing is, you click, you can open it and come back to one of those. We have like click the CSA one, that model. It hardly works good for the CSA model. You just click the CSA model right there.
I'm gonna click on.
But yeah, I try to show then once you can come back. Yeah, Harry. This platform allow you to connect with your local farmer. From people you know, deliver it to you. So these are the people you know, they can deliver it to you, or you can come to them. Let's go back to the other one. Big lines, Grace card, another example. That is e-commerce wheel for food suppliers. That's for people who sell food. And they will offer you a platform. It's like an online business. You have there. How easy it is to sell, right? So let's go back to the presentation. The picture, let me show this thing. The picture here represents that was the Missouri farmer market before they built the agricultural pavilion there. That was by Parque Plaza, Columbia, Missouri. Marketing strategies. What is how now we have these options? This kind of mix a little bit, but there are strategies to connect with consumers. So what will you do if you have product and you want to sell it to a specific niche market or specific populations? Well, you have to do a market analysis. You need to know what is the supply, what is the demand for that product, what are your competitors, what are your substitute products, what are your complement products. You need to know all the information you need to know for your product to be able to position it in that market. So it's important to have also select profitable venues and outlets for your time spent. So it's not the same thing to bring a product. I don't want to compare farmer market, but to bring a product where you have a lot of people coming to that place, and you try to sell in a place where nobody shows. You have to choose a place where people show. So that is selecting profitable venue. Then define the consumer shopping behavior trends. What that means. Somebody want to help me with that one? Shopping behavior trends. You know that?
Consumer shopping behavior trends. Yeah. If I want to go into marketing of say apples, I need to know if Missourians are interested in red apples or white apples or green apples. I don't just get up and begin to sell green apples because I feel they are the best or they appeal to me. But I need to first check and be sure that Missourians are interested in red apples, and then I go in for red apples. By that, I will make something out of it.
Perfect, that is very good. You need to know what consumers want, easily. Even with your family, with my kids, for example, I know she doesn't like my food, so I go to her. I cook. Stuff like that, it's similar. Another one will be met consumers' needs. What are the consumer needs? What did this consumer needs tell you a lot of stuff? One is
You produce something that the community near you, they need it, or they buy it. That's the
why they need it. That is the consumer. Why they need it.
They need it because maybe their system, feeding system, they.
Why? Maybe somebody is having a diet
Mm,
and that person needs a specific product
yes.
free of pesticides, let's say that. That is a consumer need. What another consumer need?
They might looking for something with fibers, they might looking for, there's a lot of choices.
One more, give me one more. One need. One need.
I guess part of that just is going to fit both their need, but also their price range, so
Well,
going. really-
Budget. yeah, you have to fit the budget of the people too. Like, one extent is if you have a market where, let's say, it's not a high income market, you need to worry about the budget with them, how much, what product they can buy. Let's go to the next one. Collect consumer feedback. That is very important, not only for sellers, but for extensions. Why it is important collect consumer feedback? We are extensions. Why it is important for me to know what a farmer wants?
To plan for future, according to what the consumer wants. Plan for future.
That's one, big, but one, another one.
Like the third point you put the define consumer shopping behavior trends. In order to be able to do that, you need to collect feedback from consumers, and that will shape your the trends.
Yeah, that's true. They are correlated. Collect consumer feedback also relate to the ability for you to continue offering the product you try to offer. That is, they start giving you negative feedback about those specific products. You have to do something, right?
Yes. Change.
Very good. One more. Develop relationship. Be friendly. Why is this important? Be friendly. It's a qualitative variable that a lot of farmers need to work on. Why?
To attract more people to them,
That's one.
Yeah.
People like be nice.
Be sure.
What happens if you are not nice?
I don't think they would trust you.
They will not come back, right?
Will not
Is
come.
it?
Yes.
So that is very important, most important. Pricing your product is that important. How you price your product, how you know how much you can, because you may be in a point that you try to help people by offering them a very low price, but maybe you are not making money at that point. It is important to know your production costs, know your fixed costs, your variable costs, and see how you can play in that margin to be able to sell to a point where you cover fixed costs, variable costs, and you are able to make a profit. If you don't make profit, should not be in business. So next one. Set a competitive market price, how products are priced by others. That is very important. You have to see how other sellers think, how other sellers price products, how they sell it, if they sell it for the case or they sell it for the pound. All these are important variables.
By bunches or. Something by bunches, like.
Yeah,
Onion.
always depends.
Like onion,
Like
like
onions,
yeah.
Yeah, and then you try to sell it by the pound,
Yes.
and so people don't like that, right? You need to analyze your profit all the time. Profit is a easy question. Total income. It's total cost. That is basic. So let's keep going. Marketing strategies. Because without selling traditional market outlets, farmer market on site. So what you need to do to sell on farmer market? We are going a little bit more specific to the product. How you are going to present your product. How you are going to present your apple. Your pears. And you just put it all of them in a box and drop it there so people can pick it up. Or you're organizing them in little baggies, so you are organizing them in little boxes and put the information about what you are selling, what varieties, how you grow your product. You have your food safety inspection certification, like they will tell the consumer, this farmer complying with good agricultural practices. Those are important. So that is one way to market products. So use all those resources. And selling from the orchard, producing direct marketing or to get orders. Like if you are in your place, you don't want to meet people, okay, it's fine. You have everything in your paradise, right? The only thing you need to do is to bring the money to keep the paradise moving. There are many options to do that. So you can grab your printer, make flyers, card, brochures, and try to send them out by mail if you want to see people. You have a directory, you create one of farmer contacts, text them, call them. You can do email marketing. You can connect with your friends and do like snowball effect. So they connect with other people. Word of mouth marketing, labeling with logo and packing. So that is kind of what to do anyway, that part. So you also can opt for the roadside stand. You can advertise and pick your own from the orchard. E-commerce, really, we have a little bit of the e-commerce. So one way is also you can create your own website. There's many ways to create a website. You can hire somebody to help you to do that on your farm. This one is maybe a little bit more costly because the initial fee is high, but then you will have your own website. And also you can register to different outlets. There are many places nowadays. A lot of resources are out there who allow you to access the platform by free because they are created by institutions that depend on stakeholder budget. So we have like different organizations here or different local harvests or can you click that one? It's possible. Oh, kind of hard. Let me go back. I don't disconnect it. Click one of those, anyone. Maybe if you play Facebook Marketplace, local harvest. And you can see in this one, the first thing you see here is Joe Jefferson City, California, Missouri, not California. Well, there is a connection to this website, so you can put your information in this kind of website. Let's go. You can go farms here, CSAs, what you want to farmer market. You click farmer market, then we show you a list of farmer markets. Check. by farmer markets. Right here. So you can see how many are here. Happy Halloween from Liz Krasner is here. Jamestown, Missouri. Pay the fee for. Very good. Very good, very good. We have Liz Krasner in the field. Jamestown. How you been with Happy Halloween? She's very good in her operation. So then you have a chance. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. In addition to that, we had an online outlet platform selling feed, Harvey, like we mentioned before, Gaze Car and Bar to Door. We didn't click that one. Can you click back to Door? We did the other two. So this is another option for you guys. You can sell your products without looking for pricing. You have to create an account, but people go there to look for your product. Now let's go back to the presentation. Very good. Now let's talk a little bit about value add agriculture. That's the last part of the presentation. And why we need to talk about this? Because a lot of people, a lot of farmers, they lost a lot of their produce, wasted because they don't know how to process it, how to add value. Or maybe they don't want to do it. But they are happy by having peers coming to coming to get the fruits, right? We don't know the reason. Maybe it's not worth it, cost effective, but there is another option for you to sell your product. And it is by adding value to whatever you have. This picture here is that picture belongs to me because these are my jalapenos, but it's not orchard, it's just jalapenos. Like 5 years ago. But that was one way to not throw away the chili, the peppers. Well, understanding value. Well, the reason of value add is used to provide value to whatever you have. It is used to add to your current products a way to preserve, a way to present different to the consumer, and that is a way to connect also with final consumer by transforming value growth. Approaches to add value to your products. You changing the form, space, time, and characteristics of raw agricultural products. That means you are going to transform. You are going to change how it looks like now to a different presentation, and how you can achieve this thing in a way that you want to use your economies of scale, or you want to get a more integrated system in your farm. So you not only sell the final product as a raw, but you want to integrate it in a way that you can maintain your product in a storage, or also you can send it to long distances without having the risk of going bad. So there is two options here we talk about. One is vertical integration, the other one is horizontal coordination. Vertical integration refers to the point like when you can integrate your activities inside your farm from the input process to the product. And then you process your product, you are able to connect to a market with that product, with a brand, with a label, and you position it. In this case, you have a product that you control all the chain of production, science, the seed to the final consumer in a different presentation. When you talk about vertical coordination, that means more like if you don't have those capacities and you are too small, That's a strategy for you to connect with other farmers. And start growing or start creating cooperatives. So you can create a power around the product too. So you have the concept here, you can read it more by your own, but yeah, vertical coordination is good for everybody. Like you will create economies of scale and will be easy accessing market, and also you will control market. So creating products with characteristics that consumers want to pay high value. Wow, that is important as part of the marketing. And what is driving value add agriculture? What drive value add? Adding value to your product. Well, it is expected when you add a transformation process to your product, you will get a better price for your product. You will get a product that has a presentation, and a lot of people like products this way, and you can sell and you can sell in different ways. So people, you go to most of the markets, local market, you will see everything in cars, right? A few products are raw, but that is one way to increase profitability. So you consider consumer preferences. Without that, but you will work in the testing of the product, quality of the product, health, social, and ecological consciousness. That means like you are going to grow a product based on ecological principles that are environmentally friendly with natural resources. So you will try to connect with consumers, higher income consumers with high income in this case. We consider time to process and transform product. Maybe it's too expensive, maybe you don't want it. That's a lot of farmers don't want to do it because they may be too small. It's a lot of work. And niche markets surrounding farmers, that means like you have a specific product that only a specific, it's a product that only a specific niche market like to consume. Like let's talk about here organic products, like they have a high value price, but also they are very much oriented to high income population. Then value added processing. Well, there is something important here, value added processing. Like most of value added products, they are subject to regulation to do the value add. So if you need to connect with a commercial kitchen or a facility that has the standard to do that, that is highly recommended. Lincoln University has a commercial kitchen, and we are able to help small farmers to access this commercial kitchen. So your product has a little bit more like market. It's more oriented to consumer through a more official way to be processed and transformed through a commercial kitchen. Next example, well, examples, we have those examples, jellies, frozen food, juice, yeah, we're talking about that. This is a value add agriculture diagram I was working with to try to communicate two different ways to perceive value add. One side we had medium and large farms, the other side we had small farms and gardens. Very much we are in this side. Lincoln University connect with a lot of gardeners and a lot of small farms. But in both of them, you can add value to your products. So in the medium and large farm, we had the commercial agriculture, large scale value add, and in the small one, we had the artisan and small scale value add. A lot of people do artisan products, consider artisan, and they go to farmer market to sell it locally. So in this context, we are talking about in the large farms, we look more about regional and national food system, large retailers, vertical integration, and it's a high entry cost to go to this area because very fast everything here to access resources like land is kind of expensive. But in this other hand, we had small farming or gardening with is very much oriented to local food systems. We connect with farmer market, local retailer, and we have access to community commercial kitchens, and we can opt for this option to be able to compete with these other lines. That is the horizontal coordination through groups, partnership, cooperatives. Also, obviously, we have different consumers who will connect with this side and consumer connect with this side. Also, consumers who are socially conscious about supporting local, supporting small farmers, and having food security are very much connected to the small farms and gardening. Because they want to know where your food comes from. Most of these people know that these guys who own the large operation, normally they are able to use a natural way to produce food. I mean, like they forcibly need to use agrochemicals or conventional inputs. They are organically certified. So, summary for market success. That is the end at 15 minutes. I will stop by how long? 10 minutes? Third evaluation
We leave some time for questions.
for questions. Do you have questions there? Not yet. Okay. Just a summary for market success. First, production records, very important to keep your production records. Everything need to be organized and you need to comply and have these records to, in case of you had a gap inspection or you had it's important to keep traceability of whatever you have there. Develop buyer trust on your fruits, facilitate access to financial and market resources. You can opt for, if you don't have enough resources, you can connect with Farm Service Agency, USDA, other programs like NRCS. They give you grants to improve your farm and natural resources. So use those resources. Most people, most farmers, all the farmers I know, they use these resources. That's why a lot of farmers are able to sustain. If they put all the money from that packet, it's very hard. That is something good we have here. Eventually, you will require, if you start now, you are starting selling more, so you will require to charge sales taxes. So cut down your buying too. Attract and sustain permanent customers. And the last one, manage your rates, very important. These are market resources. I just add those there just in case people want to have more information about other resources like Missouri Food Finder. And click that one. I will give you a map of Missouri. And then you manage that one. Find fresh food near you. Visit the food finder. Can you click visit the food finder? There's a map over there. So you can see this map. You can check there how many people have orchard where you can find your products. So all this information is free for you to be successful. So let it be. Next one. It's not I think that very much this is a link for value add. Thank you.